So I wanted to make this quick video based on the first video that I made showing you the symptoms that I'm experiencing with my Jeep. Basically, when you start it, it dies right away. You have to hold your foot on the gas a little bit to keep it idling. And then once it warms up a little bit, it runs great. So first thing I'm going to do is kind of go into the TPS and see if adjusting that makes a difference, if it even needs to be adjusted. And then we'll go from there. So hopefully you enjoy this, and I'll keep continuing to make more so that we can get to the bottom of this. Alright, so the first thing I wanted to do was kind of get an idea of where the throttle position sensor was, just in case it was something that simple. So basically I'm getting 33 millivolts out of it, and I'm getting 2.94 volts as whatever they call it, the baseline. So basically you need 17% of this voltage, which tells me it is low. So if I'm at 30, I think I need to be at 50. That would be 17% of 3 or so. So I'm going to adjust it by loosening the two 20 Torx nuts there and there, and then I'm going to twist it slightly so that it equals 50 when I probe B and C. So A and B, if you put those together with the key on, you get your reference voltage. You then need your C, so the B and C, when you probe those, you need that to be 17% of what you get when you do A and B. So as you can see, we have 2.93, a calculation of that being 17%, you're looking at like 50. So I need to adjust it so that B and C are 50, and we will see what happens. Let me go ahead and do that, and I'll bring you back here in a second. Alright, so I have made the adjustment. Basically I needed to undo both of those Torx 20 bolts and then adjust it. I think I went down, this way down, to get it down, and then this way up to get it to go up. So right now basically it's adjusted to 50 millivolts. So basically this is exactly where it should be. 17% of the reference voltage. So that was a very small tweak, but we'll see if it made any difference whatsoever. I doubt it, but you never know. Let's go ahead and start this thing up. Nope, doesn't seem to make a difference. Alright, so I got those Volvo injectors in. Right now I have the key turned on so that the fuel system is pressurized. Just want to make sure I don't have any leaking from that port there. That's the return, I believe. And then there's obviously 2 O-rings on each of the injectors. None of those are leaking. And then the fuel line right there. That's not leaking either. Actually had put everything together, and I tested a minute ago, and go figure, one of the injectors that I got from eBay came with an O-ring like that. So as you can imagine, fuel was spraying everywhere. But yeah, pretty easy fix. I just had to pop it off again and go ahead and put on a new O-ring from one of the old ones. There are the old ones there. But yeah, this is a cold engine. I haven't started it today, so I do anticipate it'll be a good test to see if anything changes. I don't think it will, but you never know. So at least I know I'll have some solid injectors, and we'll go from there. So I'll put everything back together, and we'll give it a start and see how it goes. Alright, so everything's back together. All of the vacuum lines, all the sensors. I've kind of double checked everything. I'm doing it again as I make this video. New injectors are in. We'll see if that makes any difference. I still have the key turned on just to make sure as I assembled everything I didn't knock anything loose and cause a fuel leak, because obviously that would be catastrophic if it hit the wrong spot. But let's see if there's any difference in the way it runs. I mean, cold start, so should be a decent test. Nope, same thing. Unless there's fuel left over in the cylinder from the old injectors. Wow, that's weird. It's idling high now. that's much different than it used to be. Let's see. That may be the adjustment I made to the TPS yesterday. Wow. Well, that's pretty impressive. So it seems that the injectors did the trick. See how responsive it is. Wow, yeah. Nice smooth idle too. It's not dropping down after I kick it. Good deal. So I think it may be fixed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let it sit for another couple hours. Make sure that it's fully cold. Make sure that, you know, obviously there's not fuel. It may have just been fuel in the cylinders or something. No leaks. That's good. I'm going to check that a couple times over the next day or two just to make sure. You never know. But that is really good news so far. So yeah, I'm going to kill the engine. We'll go ahead and let it sit a couple hours. I'll come back out and we'll do our final test to see if this made a difference. Very good. Didn't think it would make that big a difference, but let's see. We'll see in a couple hours here. All right, so this thing has been sitting for a couple of hours. I know the last video I did, or the last part of the video, was me actually testing it. So at this point, I think we should test it again and see if it's indeed fixed or if there's something more that needs to be done. So with the new Volvo injectors, let's see how it works. I'm not going to use my foot on the gas or anything. We'll watch the RPM gauge and see how it runs. Okay, still low. Huh, that's strange. I mean, it's obviously a lot better. 100% fixed, but the fact that that first start died like it always used to, and then the second one was perfect. It's kind of weird. I've never had a Jeep that did that, but clearly it's running perfect. So after some more testing, I found that it is indeed working half the time. It's almost like the idle air controller is resetting or something after it dies. Not sure what's causing that. I went ahead and refreshed the grounds. I even replaced the IAC. And it's kind of doing the same thing. So I'm not sure where I'm going to go from here, but I will definitely have a follow-up video. The good news is half the time it works perfectly. So if you start it and it dies, you start it again, it's perfect. But I need to figure out why that IAC is not resetting after you turn it off with the key. So I'll keep you posted and we'll go from here.